Just happy to be here. I can see some of my old contemporaries to be here in this incredible day and just share the burden and the pains with the family that has rest upon their shoulders. For me, it's disheartening that you have Lagos State, you have Nigerian Football Association. They dropped the buck on the family. I felt in my spirit there is nothing to put your life for. That's why I say I have to shift back so that I will not implode. It's grieving. My mother passed on. I never shed tears. My father passed on in my hands. I never shed tears. But when Rufai passed on, I had those pimples on my body. And every individual I'm speaking to, there was, tears of lamb rolling through my cheeks. What kind of nation is this? With this kind of example they have shown in Shefulue, in Stephen Keshi, blessed memory, Thompson Oliha, blessed memory, Rashidi Yekini. I will never advise even my son to put his feet for this country.
That was Taribo West, a former Super Eagle defender and a pastor currently. I was watching the final whistle, their analysis, and this part of the video interested me. Because of time, I will not show you the video done by BVI, the man that talks and preaches undiluted truth. He did an analysis on Taribo West before the elections, when Taribo West was praying for presidential candidate Tinubu with such fervency that even Tinubu was shocked. He was wondering, does this man know what he's talking about? What kind of passion is this? And you could see the shock on the face of then presidential aspirant. And I saw Peter Rufai also speak on that occasion when the former Super Eagles, went to pledge their allegiance and support and to play in a novelty match for the President Bola Tinubu Foundation prior to the elections. Every person has a right to support any party, any presidential candidate that they choose to support. We all do not need to support one person, one party. But there are fundamental truths that we need to understand. Every animal has to understand the terrain where it resides for it to survive and for its offsprings not to become extinct. You could hear the lamentations of Taribo West over how ex-footballers, even captains and their families were treated when they needed this country most. Let me state one thing categorically. Peter Rufai was an excellent goalkeeper. Anytime there was a penalty shootout, I was very confident he would save at least one. He was a prince from Lagos, from the Idimu ruling family. But when the chips were down According to Taribo West, he was left alone in the hands of his family. And the family members had to resort to soliciting for funds from the former Super Eagles, his colleagues. Know this, no matter where you work, no matter who you work for, no matter who you work with, 99% of the chances you are disposable. Try to plan very early. Put resources aside. Put structures aside that would protect your future if the need arises. A pastor died of one big denomination, one of the biggest denominations then. He built a big church, but he had no house of his own. When I complained, somebody made a statement that changed my life. I said, this man didn't have a house. And the young man said, whose fault? Whose fault? You played for the Super Eagles, you had international exposure, you were given gifts, given allowances, you had opportunities. If you didn't maximize them to secure a future, whose fault? It is true that the Nigerian Football Federation and some other bodies said that they contributed to the burial ceremony or one thing. It's true. But people's contributions might never ever be enough. Build networks outside your workplace. Networks. They will work for you. They will attract resources, attract things outside your workspace, outside your denomination, outside your profession, outside your tribe, outside your locality. Create relevance. Create relevance outside your immediate professional, religious, tribal confines. Very, very early. Nurture them, activate them, service them. The next thing is that start small things when you are younger that can grow in value and relevance as you grow old. Rufai wrote a book, and I saw it on a news channel. I can't remember. I don't know if he launched it and whether people came to support him. You see, create history, make history, but leave a legacy. Build a legacy that you can always fall back on. Have some things you can liquefy. Real estate, shares, bonds, investments that you can liquefy to get money in old age. As for Taribo West and the Super Eagles that went to support President Tinubu, nothing wrong. But Taribo West, you prayed that time. Now you are complaining as a pastor. Men of God, try as much as possible to align with sound ideology, sound, proven, politically clean candidates. Don't follow the contracts. Don't follow the Ghana must go. Don't follow the meat that is in your mouth. Taribo West was praying. Even Tinubu was surprised. Now Taribo West is crying. You can't blame President Tinubu. Maybe Rufai's illness did not even come to his notice, even though two of them are Lagosians. The next thing is that there is no part of Nigeria that is populated by angels. Injustice, inequity, deprivation, humiliation happens to citizens of this country by their own people, with their own people, against their own people in every part of this country. So when you say Nigeria will happen to somebody, most times it is not Nigeria that happens to people. It is people that happen to people. People who fail to do the right thing, who fail to appreciate services, who fail to appreciate their heroes, people who fail to recognize the rights of people, people who fail to know the rule of law, people who are selfish, wicked, tribalists, evil. Taribo West, don't lament. You said your son will not play for Nigeria. You can't decide for him. You can still play and take care of his life. Taribo West, I'm sorry for you. You don't know this world. Now so you go prophesy, say Trump go defeat Biden. Now Biden defeat Trump. This ministry thing, we don't date. We know our boundaries. We know our boundaries. We know them. And one of them, I can analyze political issues, but I'm always very careful. Somebody came. Buhari was ordained by God to change Nigeria. Buhari not change anything. Then you can't say you dey go one country. You don't do one country. Then when crazy people like me talk, they say na lie, na this, na that. You see, another one come. Tinubu was ordained to build Nigeria. They will start to fast, will start to do this, nothing not change. If I would go back. Politics is a human creation. That's why God didn't want kings. He wanted to reign over man. Politics is a human creation and it is a science. And it can be analyzed, can be predicted. That is why it's called political science. Let me just give you one thing now. I don't need to be a prophet, no. If Tinubu does two things, he will win 2027 clean. Whether Obi is a good man or not. Whether I love Obi, I love Peter Obi. Whether that or not, only two things Tinubu will do. One of them, just before the elections, a few months to the elections, just as the campaigns are starting, release Nnamdi Kanu. Release Nnamdi Kanu, Piam. And as the Kwamolysis formula, give him a title, an ambassador for national reconciliation and integration. Give him an office. Oreno, church agbasiala. Okpari. Ofone. Otiton. This house I know sabi speak. Number 2, before the elections, go through all the national assemblies, state houses of assembly, get 2/3 of them to approve states to be created. Create states from the 6 geopolitical zones. If you can create 3 states each from the 6 geopolitical zones, finish. Tinubu has won with a landslide. All his sins, all the hardships, everything with negative things said about Tinubu will be over. So politics is a science. It can be predicted. So don't come and become a prophet of politicians, prophesy upon politicians. Nigerian politicians will make a true prophet a liar. And Taribo West has been proven not to hear from God before. I better make you no come after me. I just analyze. Now, but those of you who were complaining about the gifts given to the Super Falcons and the Tigress, you see how the nation treats those who have brought glamour and glory to the nation. So rewarding them when the yam is hot, that is when it is easier to pound. When the iron is hot, that's when you can build it to shape. I found out that when I give lectures, it is when I'm there that they buy my books. Immediately I'm gone, they don't care. They will listen to the next person. It is when you are there that they honor you. I've gone to preach in a church, and when I left, I don't know what the bishop told them. People removed wristwatches, removed trousers and everything, gave us gifts. And I told my wife when they were carrying us to the hotel with siren, I said, tomorrow, when we will no longer preach there, these people will not respect us again. Truly, the next day, I was in the same hotel preaching in another church. The protocol officer that was running around me as if I was Jesus Christ has abandoned me, and he has faced the new guest preacher. So, that time, when it is hot, if they reward you, make maximum use of the opportunities, the fame, and the money. Produce echo income so that you won't need them again. There are churches I used to preach, they no longer invite me. There are people that used to call me every time, they no longer call me. But I have planned for my life. I listened to my wife. She said, let's plan our life, build things down, so that if they don't invite you to speak, invite you to their conferences, you can live a comfortable life. And that is true. When you leave politics, live a life. There's a life outside politics. Dr. Charles Apoki is my name. I have a webinar coming up 5th and 6th September, tagged Building, Maximizing Networks for Excellence. I have properties for sale. I have books for sale in the UK. I have t-shirts and mugs and caps with slogans of Bust You, Na You Sabi, and several others. Send the message to +234 80 21 21 92 62. God bless you.